And they also seem to be like, this guy's a fucking crazy guy that we work for.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna go finish your journey, and they're like, what? What the why? What? And he just rides off.
I don't think
They ate
I,
that horse.
you
That horse is dead.
I finally
Watched.
I finally
Watched.
I
finally
watched. I
finally
watched.
I finally
Watched.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of I Finally Watched. I'm Milan.
And this is David, and today we finally watched The Green Knight.
My expectations for this movie was like, it seems grand, right? It's like medieval times, King Arthur's court, seems really grand, but I'm like, it didn't get that much marketing. I felt like it wasn't well. It was like it was okay reviewed, and it was like contained within a certain audience. So I felt like this movie was going to be contained within it itself. Like I thought it was more like Shakespearean. Like I thought there was going to be like two or three characters, and it was like in a room, and it was like very like you know what it kind of reminded me of was The Witch. How it was like this one family contained in this one house, and everything happened in that one property. I didn't
Also,
expect
the mom from The Witch, the dad from The
that from The
Witch,
Witch.
the
Yeah,
goat. The goat is in the opening shot. It's an
right,
A24 movie. Yeah,
right.
just a few coincidences.
Well,
Not the
also
same,
like
not the same director at all, but
the whole like environmental feeling to it too.
yeah,
Very similar looking. But what I was gonna say was that I didn't expect this movie to be so grand. Like at times I felt like I was watching Lord of the Rings. If the world felt huge. But at the same time, once the movie was all set and done and I was watching the end credits, it also felt incredibly small.
it did. Yeah, contained. So this movie came out and it's got like a wide range of reviews. The critics are pretty high on it. And there is a review on IMDb that I read from start to finish. It's very long, but it is by Armin Nikha Shirazi, who is like, listen, I'm just going to explain the plot of this movie to you because I don't think a lot of you got it. And then he goes through and explains the plot for the original Sir Gawain tale, what happens in it's a poem. And then he explains the differences in this. And I was like, that is very like helpful. So if you go on IMDb, you should read that. I
Well,
think
you don't even need to because you're going to explain it today, right now, to
maybe,
us.
but he, I'll explain this movie that we saw. But I think a lot of people had expectations because I going like doing some extra research on this because there weren't a lot of IMDb facts, but like going on to Reddit and stuff, there were people who were upset from the changes from the original. So like, I mean, some of the ones I remember off the top of my head is like Sir Gawain, his mom is Lady Faye, Morgan Le Fay.
Right.
In the poem, that's actually his aunt. He has a different mom, but they're both the sisters of King Arthur. The king in this is King Arthur.
Yeah,
That's who that's supposed to be.
I know.
And then the Joel Edgerton character is the Green Knight. And I think it's made more obvious in the poem. And here, I actually still think it's a very reasonable belief that it is,
Huh.
because this whole thing is about like the five qualities of a knight and how he fails at all of them. And like kind of one of the final ones is that he promises to give, give me anything you receive while I'm gone, and I'll give you anything, that I receive. And he's like, don't you owe me something? Gives me. I made a joke when he's like, give me anything you receive while I'm gone. And it's like he's like, my wife's gonna blow you, and so then you have to give me that back. But so then when he kisses him, I was like, oh shit, I was right. Uh,
Also, here's my cum rag.
Sir, you may not have my cum rag. But so apparently part of the interpretation this guy has of this movie, which by the way he gives a 9 out of 10, was that because that he asked to be released from the bargain, it was better than just like not doing it. I guess in the real story, the Gawain is like a really like good person that meets kind of most of these things. And so in the end, the Green Knight just sort of nicks him because he's like, you're pretty much there. And if you had
That's how I thought it was gonna go.
right, and if you had which let's start from the end. I thought the ending was very clear, and apparently it is not to everyone.
I thought the ending was very clear too. I walked
That
away thinking that the Green Knight chopped off his head.
oh no,
Oh
okay, so
god,
it's not
no.
clear.
Oh god,
So it is
no.
not clear at all. So in the original poem, he does not chop off his head. He gives him a nick and he lets him go. In this, he says he's about to chop off his head, and he says, "Wait." He takes off the green sash, and then he's like, "All right." And so that, if you compare it to the original poem, he is like, "All right, I'm ready. I'm coming here to accept my
Death.
punishment or whatever, accept whatever you're here to give me." And the Green Knight is like, "Well done. You finally showed the bravery of a knight." And he even says, "Well done, my brave knight." And then adds sort of at the same time, before or after, whatever, depending on how like I didn't rewatch this last bit, but he puts a finger across his neck and says, "Off with your head."
Right.
I interpret that as that is the blow he is choosing to give him. Just a little like, I'm letting
So
you off the hook.
so what happens is he runs his finger across Gawain's neck, and then he says, "Now, my brave knight, off with your head." He stands up and like picks the axe up over his head, and it cuts to black. So I was like, "Oh, he's kind of being cheeky, and then he's gonna cut off his head."
Yeah, I didn't see it that way. I almost think you're imagining the last little bit, but maybe I just missed it. I didn't see him like stand
He
back up with the
he
axe over his
stands
head.
back up with the axe and like weighs it over his head, and then it cuts to black. I now you're making me think I imagined it, but I mean that's how I interpreted it. It's funny how I think you were about to say how other people online have interpreted it. Probably some the way I did, some the way you have.
Well, apparently even the director and Dev Patel interpret it in different ways. So they see it completely two different ways. One sees it as him letting it go. And I think also the original poem sort of like informs that, right? Of like, well, this is what happens in the original. What the reason I also like the way I see it, but I can see it the other way too, is right. So it ends with him running away, and then we get this long dream sequence, which I the whole time knew was a dream sequence. I think somewhat fairly obvious it is.
I knew the more we were into it.
Right, yes. That also that part makes sense, right? So like having that happen, and then the end you could see it as like, oh well, because hold on, pause.
Are you watching it right now?
My brave knights. Now, off with your head.
And then gives him a wry smile, and that's it. He doesn't stand
No,
up with the
no.
axe, you son of a bitch.
I just imagine that, I guess. I just imagine that. Damn. But
So to
okay.
me,
But then
I
he does the neck thing first and then says, "Okay, now off with your head." That I was like, "Okay, now he's gonna chop
I
off his
think
head."
I think the just imagine a whole different thing. I think saying it after doing the thing on his neck is you could interpret it your way, but I interpret it my way, especially with the smile of like, because I said this is a game. I'm going to give you what you give me. That is me giving it to you. Also, so in the original poem, Morgan summons this Green Knight to, I think, trick and kill King Arthur, but then Gawain takes his place. And then he goes out, and then because he's an honorable knight, because he, I think, doesn't fuck the Lord's lady,
Yeah.
that he like gets away with it, he becomes this, a knight, right? Or maybe he was a knight the whole time. Anyway, so I think in this instance, Gawain is in this movie. Gawain is sort of failing throughout, right? So one of it is like when he meets the scavenger and he asks him for a little bit. He has to ask him for money after helping him, and he's like, oh well, here's just like a one, basically like a $1 or whatever, like one little coin. He's like, that's it. Oh, thanks. You know, and so the five virtues of a knight are friendship, generosity, chastity, courtesy, and piety. And so the generosity in the scavengers part, right? And then the friendship with the Joel Edgerton character, chastity. I mean, he's fucking a whore the entire time.
Is that what she's supposed to be? A whore?
She is, because of the bell thing, that she wears bells because it's supposed to let people know she's coming because she's lesser, I guess. Then
Okay.
I was confused about how the whole lady and Essel being the same person thing. I was like, what's the symbology behind that?
Right. Right.
But I think it's just a little artistic flair in an A24 movie.
So hold on, let's since we started with the end, let's kind of go with that for a second, because first of all, I was confused that he was his nephew. Like Gawain was King Arthur's nephew.
Okay.
For
Because of
me,
the skin tone?
no,
Do
no,
you have a problem with that?
no, the old English language really trips me up in movies most of the time. So
Okay.
I'm just like not following every piece of dialogue. When I started this movie, I didn't have the subtitles on, and I was like 5 inches away from my screen being like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I had to turn the subtitles on, and it made stuff, things a lot clearer. But the values of what makes a knight, that was never shown on screen, was it?
There are different little pieces. So one of the things this movie does is it has chapters, basically, right? And
Right.
so one of the first ones is chivalric romance, and chivalry, I think it's maybe one of the sub elements of the knight's virtues. Chastity is one. I don't know. Yeah, it's
So
not
so
explicit.
the way I
It's
come out, so he comes across Barry Cogan, right? And he's not very generous to him, although he lies to him anyways, but he's not very generous to him. And then he gets fucking, you know, captured and robbed by him and his crew. I love I this is gonna be where it's gonna be another interpretation. I love the part where he's tied up and the camera pans around and he's a skeleton.
it's one of the coolest shots. I don't think. Well, okay, well, I don't think he's a skeleton. I think he's seeing like, oh, this has happened to someone before, and I have to get out of here.
Oh, really? That's how you see it?
Because
Yeah, I knew we were gonna have different interpretations of this.
well, your way makes sense too. I'm not like doubting it because I think this movie is full of being open to interpretation, right?
So the way I saw it is that he has like a vision of the future of him dying, decomposing, being a skeleton stuck out here. And then when the camera pans back around, him imagining himself like this is where his journey ends, that gives him the extra little oomph that he needs to like crawl over there, cut himself loose, and get out of the situation.
I saw it as because one of the things knights are supposed to be brave. Although that's not even one of the. I don't understand. What are these? These fucking friendship, generosity, chastity, courtesy, and piety is what AI said. AI is not taking over everything because what I want my knight to do is cut some fuckers up. You know what I mean? Where's that in here?
What's
But
piety?
piety is represents religious faith and devotion,
I,
emphasizing a commitment
okay, I could
in
see that
duty.
in the towards the end of the movie.
But he's supposed to be brave, and these these people like surround him and his horse. First of all, you're on a horse, maybe just like fucking gallop. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but he's so scared, and then that continues, and then he's tied up, and then he sees a skeleton. He's like, "Oh fuck, it almost felt like he was relying on them, like eventually letting him go once they had like gotten enough out of
I don't
him.
know how you interpret that as him seeing a skeleton. The camera pans a full 360. It's himself.
Looked like a 180 to me. You might be right
Oh,
on this. I don't know. Was he wearing the same clothes?
yes.
Okay, well then maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe I missed that. Anyway, he gets some fucking balls
Right.
and is like, I'm gonna die here. Whether it's him or someone else, he's like, I'm gonna die.
Right.
I gotta get out of here. And he does, which is funny because then right after this is the scene where he eats the shrooms and really starts tripping, like sees giants. They start harmonizing in a
You
valley.
you and I are gonna first of all, that doesn't happen until a little later. Second of all, you and I are gonna interpret this movie a whole different way.
Let's go that let's sort of set it up. I don't think there's
I
much
thought the giants were real.
Oh, no, yeah, I
The
do too.
giants are a thing that happened. He didn't hallucinate the giants,
I
right?
don't think they can sing very well, is I guess the hallucination
You
part.
I don't think you have the right to mention their like talk about their singing.
Anyway, let's start from the top to get this on. Like it starts with this poem, and it starts with a really the best part about this movie is like the cinematography
It's
is
beautiful.
fucking amazing.
It's amazing, yes.
A lot of people call this movie like beautiful but boring, and I don't think any of it is boring.
I don't
There
think of it
is
as boring. It's very ethereal and it's symbolic, very beautiful.
I
Yeah.
expected once he went on this journey to just be him like going like not a lot happening while he was on this journey. And I was also wondering, is he going to make it back and stuff's going to happen? Because I knew Joel Edgerton was in this as a lord, so I thought maybe he was going to be going back and meeting him. But no, like so much happens on the journey. There aren't a lot of like it's just like beautiful shot, something happens. Beautiful shot,
Mhm.
something happens. Rolling vistas, something happens. Like
Right.
it's all great. So, but the opening shot of the crown lowering on his head is so cool. It does make me wonder, is that the actual future or is that fake future that he had a dream of? Because that's sort of also like open to interpretation depending on what you think happens.
Uh, I mean, obviously I took it as the fictional future because I thought the real future was he gets his head cut off. So,
Yeah. And
but
then
in this opening, he gets his head caught on fire.
correct, yeah. So
So,
maybe the dream. And it's like this isn't King Arthur, but this is another important story. And then it opens with this shot of the goat and then a building in the back on fire and then a random guy getting on a horse and going off. And it's all like, what is there's nothing I don't know. What was that about?
well, I was confused about that too because I was like, oh, we're gonna go into like his room and he's gonna be sleeping and someone's gonna wake him up and be like, hey, the fucking castle's on fire. We should do something about that, right? But it's just his whore waking him up and being like, hey, we should fuck some more. And he's like, I
I
need
would
to
have
get on with my day.
I mean, I know. You don't want to turn this into a this pod about like just who you think is hot, but I'd give it all up for Alicia Vikander too. So
Which one? Long hair or short hair? Rich or poor? Or it
I mean,
doesn't matter to you?
she looks beautiful in both. A poor, you can probably control her more. A rich, she's got options.
I was gonna say the one that gave me the cum rag, I think.
Ah!
You know?
Oh, you're a big HJ guy. Okay, so anyway, and then she says like something like, "Oh, Jesus is born today," which I called you. I was like, "It's a Christmas movie. We messed this up
Oh,
again."
Christ is born. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and then mom's not going to the thing today, and it's because she's a witch. That's the other thing. How this reminds you of the witch because there's a witch in it.
Well, yeah,
Also, Hereditary.
a little hereditary. Sure, sure, sure. I was also like, okay, so if that's Morgan Le Fay, which makes a lot more sense now, and that's her son, and then that's King Arthur's nephew. Cool. I'm all on board with that. But are you just supposed to guess that she summons the Green Knight to try to kill King Arthur?
Well, she creates the note that the Green Knight gives to the Queen to read.
In like a possession voice, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you can see her making the note that then is given to the Queen. So I mean, that's how you're supposed to
But
know.
I'm sitting there asking myself, why? I thought that she was giving an opportunity to her son.
Yes, that's the way I interpret this version of the movie. Yes,
Okay. Okay.
and it's so funny because when I'm watching this the first time through, I'm like, is no one listening to the Green Knight say like, "Hey, I'm going to give you whatever you give me"? Like, why is he so dumb? Just nick him. And it's because Gawain is kind of a fucking idiot
Yeah,
in
yeah, and
this.
he's like overzealous about
And
it.
he's like, if I chop his head off, then I'll never have to get that. And then he chops his head off, and the dude picks his head up, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And
Yeah.
like, there's just some scenes after this, like the next year of him drinking himself into like, "I really fucked this up."
Right. I think that was really cool how it was represented through the like the puppet show
Yeah,
and the tourney thing that shows the turn of the seasons. I thought that was really cool. So I'm on board with you. I had the same problem with the movie where isn't anyone listening to the Green Knight? where why wouldn't you just take the easy way, especially when he's like just laying down his axe in front of you and like bending over? It's like, this is such a setup. How
You're
can like, are you a idiot?
getting played. You're getting played, my dude. Uh, one line that one of my favorite lines is the king speaking to him. He's like, "You are my sister's boy, queefed from her womb." I was like, "That's fucking poetry,
Well, that's what
King
I'm going to
Arthur."
say to my wife about our son, you know.
Well, you got to say it. You are my son, queefed from your mother's womb.
Ah,
So he's also like, "Oh, tell me a tale, so I might know thee." And he's like, "I got nothing."
I thought
I
that was really cool setup. Like,
Yeah,
start of the movie, like, hey, I haven't done brave shit. I haven't done cool shit all my life. Like, yeah.
yeah. I'm not anything. I don't even know why this hoe is into me, but that's pretty much what I got going on. I can tell you about the stuff she does, but that's it. So then a year passes, and the king is like, "You have to go." Essel's like, "Please don't go." And then the mom is like, "I have this girdle, this belt that you can wear that will protect you."
Do you
And
think she came on that one, or like she had someone
I
else
don't think I don't
come on
think the
that one?
jizz is necessary for the safety. I think there's some runes involved. I think the jizz is just like, different regions of the country have different beliefs, and so
Sure, sure. I do think him getting his stuff back throughout the movie once it's all stolen from him from Barry Keoghan, as he gets stuff back, I think that's really cool. Like
So
I think
the
that's like the point of the movie. Well, we'll get into more like how he gets it back exactly, but go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say how he got it back.
Oh, go ahead. We'll do it now.
Well, so the voice from the fox is his mom.
I figured that.
So the mom is getting it back for him.
But the mom didn't tell the other Alicia Vingator to make it for
I'm sorry,
him.
what was that last name?
What's her name? Vicator?
Vikander?
Vikander?
Yeah,
That's her name, Vikander.
Alicia Vikander.
Lucky she's hot, I guess. I don't know.
Did you see in the last episode I had to edit out you said the word Candace when you meant cadence?
I didn't cut that.
You're just okay. Just
There
open
was
up.
just no way that I could cut that without that making sense. So I just left it.
So the journey out is just a beautiful, beautiful shot of him on this horse with the kids chasing him. I figure that like that shit had to be CGI, right? Maybe or some of it, the castle at least.
I don't think any of the environments were CGI.
Not the environment, but I think the castle that can't be real. That looked like fucking Helm's Deep or something.
You don't think that they can go to like England or
Yeah.
France or Germany and find a
This
castle?
It was filmed in Ireland. That castle was huge.
You don't think they have huge castles in Ireland?
What do you want to bet that that castle was CGI?
This is going to be another Paris instance.
Yeah.
Ooh, what do I want to bet? What do I want to bet?
August?
The entire month of August?
How do you
No,
feel
I don't want to bet this.
Okay,
You
there
can
you go.
have it.
Yeah, back down. And then we already sort of talked about the Barry Keoghan. He's, the start of his career is just playing a lot of like weird fucking characters with crazy, like, is this crazy accent on this guy?
I don't know what you're talking about. The start of his career, he is still doing these roles well into his career.
I don't know what kind of accent he had in Saltburn though. I never watched Saltburn. Saltburn, we need to do.
You're gonna have a talk about cum rags, dude.
I know a little bit about Saltburn. Even
Talk
though I haven't
about
seen it.
Barry Keoghan and cum rags. Jesus.
Did you think? I thought. Obviously, I don't know if he was pointing him in the wrong direction,
He was
but
pointing
it
him in the direction of his two associates.
yeah, his compatriots, his people in arms, and they also seem to be like, this guy's a fucking crazy guy that we work for.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna go finish your journey, and they're like, what? What the why? What? And he just rides off.
I don't think
They ate that horse.
you
That horse is dead.
as I was explaining this plot to my wife and I'm at the end of it and I was like, so he finds this horse, but he doesn't really find his horse because that's part of the dream sequence. She forgets that part and she's like, oh, but he found his horse. I'm like, no, he didn't. I guess because that part is a dream sequence, they could have eaten the horse. You're
They
right.
ate that horse. Yeah, that's totally. I mean, he gave him $1. Like, all right, fuck, we're gonna eat your horse. He's like, "Is there really a chapel? You're in it." Is a great line just to fuck with him. And then he gets away, eats the mushrooms. I don't know. Is that? Hold on.
That's way later.
Oh yeah.
So
Damn.
he's drinking the spring water and he looks up and there's like this spooky house with like fog coming out the back of
Kind
it.
of reminded me of the ritual.
Okay, yeah, I see that too. He walks in, notices all the food is like spoiled, rotten, to like he picks up the bread and it basically turns dust into his hand.
Yeah.
He thinks the house is abandoned. He goes to lay in the bed and there is a chick over his bedside who's like, "Why are you in my bed?"
Which it takes him a while to notice this lady.
Because she's not really there.
That's true, but he doesn't notice her bones were there the whole time.
Well, that part, yeah, that part was a little confusing.
Do you think he did he leave? Did he leave a little bit of himself on her too? He's just jizzing in all the beds.
Well, I thought an interesting part of this movie, or this part of this movie, was her asking him, "Are you the knight who like raped me?" He goes like, "No," and she's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "I'm sure. I'd remember that."
Yeah, it wasn't me.
And then another thing, right? So okay, so the first fail is the Barry Keoghan thing. He only gives him $1. He's not generous. The second thing is when she's like, "I need you to jump in the spring and retrieve my head," and he's about to do it, and he hesitates and he stops for a moment. He says, "What would you give me in return if I do this for you?" And she looks utterly like horrified.
How could you ask me that?
Yeah, like, aren't you supposed to be like a knight? And aren't you supposed to just do this shit? And he was like, almost like, "Oh yeah, right."
Yeah, I mean that is him failing one of the tests, right? And so a lot of people were upset about this part of it because the Saint Winifred stuff is a separate like tale, but was not in this.
I thought it was cool. I don't care.
No, I liked adding it too.
This is
I
actually probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, he brings the head back,
He brings the head back. He has like a psychedelic experience, and then he lays it on the pillow, and it's like daytime now.
and there's the axe.
So, how does he get that back? By doing a good deed?
I think the mom just brought it back to him, but
You think the
yeah, I mean,
fox brought it back?
sort of. I think you can interpret that either way, right? Like, yeah, he's done something right. Now, for how does he get the green belt? She's like, "Why didn't you come to my chambers?" And she's like, "You wanted to." He's like, "Yeah, but I couldn't." Maybe that's the good deed. She's like, "All right, since you didn't come to my chambers, the belt and an HJ. That's it."
I guess. I guess. But she said I made this for you. But you're saying it's the same belt that was
No,
stolen from him?
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't think that matters.
Okay.
I don't know. Does it have the same runes in it? Who
He didn't
knows?
open it up and check. But it's so like encased in his cum, I don't think you can open it up and check. So
Yeah. So the fox, by the way, is just watching him bring the skull back up, and then we have the interlude where we sleep in the cave, and he eats some shrooms, and
he
then he
invites the fox
hallucinates.
in.
I thought I had to rewind it. I was like, is he cuddling that fox? Did he like bring that fox on his chest and is like holding it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it would
I
have been
think he's
cool.
still like pretty weary of the fox.
With rightfully so. It's his mom just hiding as a fucking fox.
When he's climbing that mountain and the giants show up, I was like, this is what I wanted the movie to be. Like, I wanted this movie to basically be Lord of the Rings. I thought, how cool. This is like a huge step in the right direction of like where I think this movie should have been the entire time. These huge grandiose set pieces with these very, very fantastical creatures and elements to it. So when the giants showed up, I was like, all right, I'm locked in.
Just too bad they weren't real, you know?
Stop. He did not imagine the giants.
The giants were real. Although
Oh.
they won't carry him. He just has to walk after them.
Well, okay, so they're all female, I believe, with like they're butt ass naked. And did you notice the one in the background carrying a giant child,
I did not.
a giant baby? No,
Yeah.
you were too busy looking at their tits. The giant tits
I refuse. Well, first of all, I mean they were giant
in
in
proportionate.
comparison. Yeah, but they were. Yeah, I was staring at the boobs. That's correct. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you caught me.
There was a baby in the background.
I don't have to answer questions like this at all. So he goes to the castle next, and there's just a man in a bear suit, and then later on, he's like, "Oh, he has this line where he's like, I see things that bear no logic." I was like, "Why are you doing fucking puns?"
uh, yes, and then they go boar hunting, or what is that they kill?
Well, he kills a boar. I don't think he doesn't take Dev with him
Well, because at the end he was like, "And our games, remember our games?" And I'm like, "What? When the
because he's the Green Knight. It's a little
then they
he's the,
just had Joel Edgerton play the Green Knight and not the dad from The Witch or Galactus from Fantastic Four."
I mean that fucking voice though.
Yeah, you're right.
If you can get that voice to be the Green Knight, you get the voice
I
to be the
couldn't
Green Knight.
stop thinking, did you see the new Fantastic Four movie
I did not.
with Galactus? I couldn't stop thinking, like, man, did we win on that movie? Getting that guy to play Galactus? Come on, dude.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So he recognizes that the lady looks like Essel, right? And it
Mhm.
to me, it's I guess is this another test of like, it's sort of in line with like, why didn't you come to my
Yeah.
chamber?
It's like I'm your girlfriend but hotter.
I just have longer hair and I keep it. It's not unkempt.
Also, she's clean.
But, I mean, maybe he likes it dirty.
Maybe that's a big. Oh, okay. I also thought like her speech. Never mind. I take back what I said about earlier with the Winifred stuff being my favorite part of the movie. Her speech about why is he green is probably my favorite part of the movie.
It's like, yeah, well, it's like the chewiest dialogue that she's the one that gets it right.
She says it with such passion, and her line where she's like, "Why why do we seek to dye our linens this color but scrub it off the cobble if it approaches?" I was like, "Holy shit, that's good."
It reminds me of that meme when it's like, why do we take showers but like wear raincoats to avoid the rain? And it's like, I don't know, jackass. Why do I not want to get wet when I'm fully clothed? You have any other dumbass questions?
No, but hers isn't like that.
No,
Hers
I know.
actually is like pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, but and she's like, basically what she's saying is like when everything is said and done, when you're dead and your gravestone stands, moss and shrubbery and everything will take over. And we kind of see that when he is tied up back earlier in the movie. And we do that 360 or 180 or whatever you want to call it. And we're noticing that everything is covered in greenery. And then she said, "Why isn't he blue or red? Like, why green?" And I'm just like, now this is where I don't think this is what the movie was meant for you to take as. This is where I go off a little bit on my
Is it
own.
about it's about climate change?
It's about cancer. No, no, I'm kidding. It is to me about the acceptance of mortality and death. And so when he gets to the point where he's at the Green Knight and he's to chop off his head, he is not ready. He has to almost go through the whole vision of him basically being the shittiest king of England. Like, he's a bad dad, he's a bad husband, he's a bad king. And then when he gets back to it, he's like, okay, I'm ready. Because the way I am now is not good for anyone.
Yeah.
Right. And so this acceptance is like, I either die here, which is fine, or I'm now like a better man than when I walked in here. That's how I took it.
Did you steal that from someone, or did you come up with that on your own?
I just told you how I took it.
So there's some tapestries. You took it how you took it from the internet and made
Is
it
it
your own.
really? Is that what the internet is saying?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
But you've been known to do that.
I don't think so. I speak from the heart.
So there's a bunch of tapestries in here of like a fox hunt, and then there's a tapestry of like a guy being chased away from the castle.
Okay.
So I sort of expected that because that's the thing. In like this movie is very A24 coded,
Yeah,
and
it
like
is.
it's
You're
and
about to talk about Midsommar, right?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly right. And
Yeah.
I was like, so I was expecting him to be running away, which sort of happens, but not really, because the Lord catches up with him and is like, and he's like, please release me, and he's like, okay, you're good, you can go. So like that's kind of how I expected it to end. I mean, we've talked about all this, right? The sitting for the portrait thing, the HJ, like we've got all this. The old woman with her eyes covered is creepy. I don't know what she's supposed to be.
You think she watched the whole HJ happen?
She didn't watch anything. She heard it. She didn't watch it.
What was the point of her? Like,
I don't know.
okay.
That's yeah. I mean, maybe Ralph the movie maker. I don't know. You didn't watch his video on this to figure out what to talk about on
Did
it.
he make a movie on it? Did he make a review on this? I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
It's you can go check it out after the fact. So and yeah, then she goes. I mean, we didn't talk about the fox trying to stop him as the mom.
So that's the river Styx, right? Like the representation of him getting on the boat and paddling down, and she's trying to
Paddling
stop.
to death.
Exactly, and she's trying to stop him to going down the river Styx.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, at this point in our lives of as human beings in our society, we have to do better than representing death using the river of Styx. We have to move on from the symbology of a river leading to death.
Play the classics, you know. So I love the set design of the Green Chapel, just like greenery, shrubbery, trees, everything, and
But
like
it's
this
also
one,
kind of in ruins. Yeah.
yeah, this one hole to get in, and then he just sort of has to sit there the whole time. Like he, Joel Edgerton was right. You really should just leave Christmas morning. You've got plenty of time to get there instead of just sitting there for 3 days. Like he's like starts moving. He's like, oh, is this it? Oh, no,
Is
not
it 3
ready yet.
days? I thought it was like, so he gets there during the day, and then I thought we saw like a night cycle where I thought, oh, he only moves around at night. And then we have to wait till the next morning, and in the like the dawn of the next morning, that's when he awakens. So I thought we waited like at least 12 hours. You're saying we waited what? 60, 72 hours?
Do you know what hyperbole is?
Oh, you're being sarcastic.
So you don't know what hyperbole is.
Okay, so then what?
Exaggeration for dramatic effect.
He waited for like 12 hours.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I'm glad you got that math right. So we're good on that. I mean, we've talked about all this. He's like, you flinched. He's like, did I? He's like, yeah, you fucking flinched. And then he's like, you had a year to find the courage. And then he says, is that all there is? And he's like, well, what else ought there be? And he's like, I'm sorry, nope, I'm not. And there's a lot of cool stuff in the dream sequence, right? Like he goes back and has the sex scene with Essel, and then you see her give birth, and he's just staring at her stone faced, and they take the baby, and then he's basically like, here's your money, whore.
Yeah.
And throws money on the thing.
She crawls to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe get the baby weight off. Maybe he'll come back to you. I don't know. So then we see.
Although we see her later, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe he did good. Maybe he's okay with
The timeline on this, it is clearly a dream because things like he has his daughter later on, and there's like a war going on outside, and then like the daughter's now 5, and the war is at his door. Like, were they holding him off for that long?
No, yeah.
Maybe
He's a shitty king who doesn't know how to win a war.
they're like, we are gonna kill you, and then like watching his son die in battle.
Although I took the war when his daughter was born to be like a neighboring land that's invading his kingdom, right? But later on, when they're at his door and he's knocking down his door and his daughter's older, I thought that was more of a rebellion. Like that
Like
was
his own people.
his own people turning on him.
Sometimes it be your own people.
Sometimes it do.
There's one part where they have people to undress them for sex, and then she goes for the belt, and he's like, "Hey, the belt stays on
The
during
belt
sex."
stays on. He's like, I come on this belt. The other thing too, she's like a child, right?
I mean, that's pretty common back in those times.
Yeah. Still gross, but like she's super young. And I like the representation of like that's his son because he has like the royal hair headband. And then we see that when he's dying in the war, like he
Right.
sends his son out to war and then he dies. So that's very sad.
And then the movie ends. We already discussed the end. I see it differently than you do. I like my ending. I guess I search for happy endings more. But when I saw it, I think his smile to me was like, that's where I didn't even question it. Until you said something, until I had read that people saw it a different way, although you imagined an entire last 15 seconds of it.
I don't know.
But I couldn't have imagined a different interpretation of that. But it said David Lowery and Dev Patel actually disagree on what the ending is.
That's interesting. I mean, I enjoyed this movie very much. I had no issues with this movie. I think it's very cool that people can walk away from a film with different interpretations, especially with a movie so dripped in symbolism and like almost a little abstract ethereal. I feel like you're supposed to walk away with different understandings of this film, and it was really enjoyable. Fuck the people who said it was boring. I thought this film was very enjoyable. I think this movie actually is going to have to be like on another rewatch for me pretty soon because knowing how this movie ends, I think I'm going to watch it in a different way and like maybe take a different understanding to it too.
So one of the things in here was that, like, in this time, you could just proclaim another guy a knight because, like, he is shown that he's a knight. So throughout the movie, Gawain keeps saying, "I'm not a knight," and then in the end, the Green Knight's like, "My brave knight." Like, he is basically knighting him.
Which it's funny because isn't he knighted in the dream sequence too right before King Arthur dies?
He's knighted and made king.
And made king. I thought I was like, wow, this because I didn't understand that it was his nephew. I was like, wow, this king really likes this random dude. I was like, oh no, it's his heir. That makes sense.
So one of the first lines in the movie from Gawain is, "I am not ready," and then his final line is, "Now I'm ready."
Yeah, very cool.
So in the original poem, the blindfolded lady at the Lord's castle is revealed to be Morgan Le Fay.
Who is not more? So his mom is not Morgan Le Fay.
No. She's a witch. She takes on different forms. She's like, I got to be there.
Oh, so his mom
But
watched him.
but no, she didn't. She knew he was going to get some jerkin, so she's like, "Let me blindfold this. I don't need to see that."
Ah,
I loved this movie. So as it's going along, gets to the end with the dream sequence. It starts, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. Oh, he's sort of descending, and then like you, I was like, oh, this is probably a dream sequence." And I'm like, as it's getting further along, I was like, "This better be a dream sequence." And it's sort of like
you didn't
it.
enjoy the end where he takes off the sash through the hole in his robe and then his head just comes clean off.
Well, at that point, I was like, I know this is a dream because that's not how like physiology works. And then it cuts back to it, and I think that made me really like. I usually don't want an ending to affect like the choice of how a movie ends to
You were
affect
gonna
my
give this
thoughts.
movie like a 7 out of 10, and that the fact that it cuts back to it gives it like an 8 out of 10.
I don't think we don't do numerical ratings on this, but when
9 out of 10.
what 9.8 when it cuts back to him, whatever your interpretation of how that ends, whether he is let go or his head chopped off, makes it a much better movie.
I agree.
And the movie is not boring. It is great throughout. It is beautiful. I did question as I was watching it, does this movie have rewatchability, and I think it does.
So I wanted to bring this up a little earlier, but I'll bring it up now. For people who are kind of understanding that sometimes we do theme months on the podcast, this month's theme is kind of no theme. It is dealer's choice, the dealer being me, moi. And the reason that I chose Brick, The Green Knight, Crybaby, and Aftersun is because these are the movies that I have in physical media copy at my house that I bought, that I want to watch them. Like, I want to use my physical media copies of these movies. And so I'm using the podcast as a really good excuse on using these, watching these. But, I don't think we're going to get that much viewership with these movies because they're not that famous, they're not that well known, and it's more of a niche film. I wanted to go through and see what other movies that have really low viewership on the podcast that we've done. And kind of, I think, because we did these movies so early in our podcasting career, that they have not gained the deserved amount of viewership. So here are the ones for me. And since you don't have that list in front of you, I'm going to name the ones for you because I know which ones you want more. So we're going to start off with the lowest viewership, the lowest episode. That's Dead Man Down.
Listen
And
here, you motherfuckers. It's a great movie.
well, hold on.
That's
It
our
is a good
lowest ever?
That's our lowest ever.
Wow.
And it was our 84th episode. We uploaded it on July 15th, 2021. Okay.
All right, speed this up.
And then the next lowest, it says Brick, but that's only because it just literally came out this week, right?
Yep.
The next lowest of all time, and I think this is one of the movies that definitely deserves more, is Memories of Murder.
Yes, for sure. Maybe
And
one of the top 10 movies we've done.
Yes, it's our 77th episode. And yeah, I think Memories of Murder should be higher. Next would be Beginners. I thought Beginners was a really cool movie. I think that deserves higher.
For
That's
sure.
66th episode.
Are you just pointing out these are all my choices?
No.
Is that what this fucking exercise is for?
No. I'm just saying that these movies, I feel like, need a bigger audience. Like, people need to know, even though they're not, fucking Shawshank Redemption or Casablanca. I think these movies need to be recognized in their own way. So I'm going to go through these real quick. The Meyerowitz Stories is down there, and I
It's on
think
Netflix, guys. You have Netflix.
exactly. I think that's great. The Brothers Bloom, I thought that was great. Okay.
Another Ryan Johnson.
Chef, I thought that was great.
Just a delight.
Exactly. Now, this is, for me, the biggest tragedy. Our 51st episode was Inside Llewyn Davis.
Well, that's just because of how early it was. A lot of these are because of how early they were.
Of course, but I still think
clearly this shows us that people do not go back.
People do not go back. Although I will say they went back for our first episode, which makes sense because a lot of people wanted to know where we came from, where it's
like, oh, these guys fucking sucked.
Prisoners is down there. The Descendants is down there.
Jeez.
Michael Clayton is down there. Annihilation is down there. And then I have to say probably your biggest hit is In Bruges is down there. Man. I know. The Ghost in the Darkness and In Bruges are actually neck and neck.
That's two of my favorite movies.
Pretty low. But I mean, we have just great movies. We have like Hannah, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Election, Super 8. Like, those movies are just great in their own. But I think we just did some of these movies too early to truly be appreciated. And I hope now that we're doing movies like The Green Knight, I think because we are where we are now, those movies will kind of get higher than maybe other movies that deserve it more, but that we did early on. The question I think we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to do a line of episodes where we rewatch some of the first movies we did, like say sub 100 episodes, the first 100 episodes, choose some of those and redo them.
Yeah, Memories of Murder, Ghost in the Darkness, In Bruges. By the way, we also maybe just sub out Crybaby for Dogma, because I know you own Dogma.
I don't own Dogma.
Yeah,
But
you do.
you still have my Dogma.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you own it.
Okay. Well, I'm not subbing out Crybaby for Dogma. I think Crybaby's gonna be fun.
Well, thanks for listening to another episode of I Finally Watched. This is David.
And this is Alon. And we finally watched The Green Knight.